All right, this is the end of week 9 for DSO 13B, Growing Fundamentals for Animators, online session 5. It's me and Aimee. I'm going to discuss some of her work, and then I'll go on to describe what's expected in the long run at the end of week 13 for your character design assignment. Cool. All right. First things first. Thanks for posting your work, Aimee. I quite like
No worries.
this little wizard character. So we've got Wilbur the wizard. So what's the sort of general story behind these characters? Are they all it's a magical little world or?
Yeah, it's just a little live in this little medieval village
Mhm.
in Fantasyland somewhere. And the other character I haven't got around to doing him yet. He's a jester and he's putting on a show and he just thinks he's like the bee's knees. And Wilbur, who's can actually do like real magic, isn't impressed. So he's just kind of stern and grumpy old man.
Right. Because yeah, so you got it's really cool. You got like uh the fungus, the mushroom, and there's a few things I can. And then you got the crystal ball, right? There's a few things that kind of immediately came to mind that you can sort of take some advantage of the mushrooms, right? And the crystal ball imagery. So first things I'll talk about the crystal ball. The first thing that immediately struck me was like fortune tellers. Like you
Yeah.
have like the sort of gypsy fortune tellers. So you've got like a wizard character, right? And you could have a fortune teller character, and you could sort of have. And then I thought about like uh, ever heard of the character called Mysterio from Spider-Man?
I've heard of him. Haven't
So
really.
so basically, it's this character. He's basically just got like a crystal ball for a head, and he was let's have a look. The image is a bit blurry. Um, yeah, he basically just got a crystal ball for a head, and his power is like he can create. He's not really powerful, but he creates illusions and messes with your mind. So
Huh.
and in the comic, in the show, like sometimes his illusions are all fake. Sometimes the illusions can sort of are a bit tangible. So, but he sort of he plays like mental games with a lot of characters and stuff. Almost like a bit like me Scarecrow from the Batman series, but it's not like nightmares. It's just regular illusions to rob banks. Um, I just saw like it's a a character with a crystal ball for a head, and then you can mix that with like the fortune teller sort of clothing or something. This is going off on a tangent on your original story. I just what came to mind um, originally. If you wanted to do something with like when people think of the crystal ball, you sort of think of like fortune tellers, and so you already have that little built-in story that you don't even have to explain to your audience.
Yeah.
You know, it just thought, and then when you see like when you see like the magical character with the wizard, you have the wizard hat and the beard. You think of the stereotypical, the archetypal wizard, Merlin, Gandalf. So you already have that built into your design, which you can take advantage of. Um, and
Yeah, that's
then
what I was kind of doing with the
yeah,
hat. Yeah.
and then I was also thinking magic and stuff. Again, this is on a tangent, but with the mushrooms, right? You have the like psilocybin mushrooms, right? So the mushrooms that make you hallucinate,
Yeah.
right? So you can even with that sort of idea, you could even play on like this guy is sort of maybe like a shaman, like a Native American shaman or South American shaman sort of thing. You could tie in if you want magic. You can also tie it to the sort of psychedelic mysticism of mushrooms and the Native American medicine, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
If you want, I'm just
Didn't
saying
even
like
like think of like yeah, didn't even think of like that correlation there. Yeah.
yeah, and these are just things that's you don't even have to really work for because it's inbuilt into the design, like you or inbuilt into the history of the design. When you got the wise old owl, it's like by default whenever you have a owl character, it's people think, oh, it's the kind of the knowledgeable old grumpy one, you know.
Yeah.
Just by default, you sort of think about that, you know, wise old owl. You know, Harry Potter has a noble owl. All the wizards they use owls as you know to trust for all their mail delivery, that kind of stuff. And you ever seen The Secret of Nim, the animated movie about mice and rats?
No, I haven't.
The Secret of Nim is based off a book called The Rats of Nim, and it's basically these lab rats and lab mice. They were experimented on, and it gave them intelligence. And then they broke out, and they're living this kind of like life out in the bush, on a farmland. And at one point, a character has trouble, and they're told, "Oh, go see the wise old owl." And the owl is like this sort of super knowledgeable character, playing into the sort of the let's see.
Actually, that does look familiar. Maybe I have seen it like ages ago.
Yeah. The owl is sort of like this wise, it's almost like this big ancient. What is it? The main characters are mice, and owl is gigantic to them. So it's this wise, old, huge figure that they must go and seek knowledge from. Yeah, it would, and of
Hmm.
course, and then in the same movie they have a crow character, or maybe it's a raven. I think it's a crow. Um, And when you think of crows, you know, loud, noisy, um, obsessed with like stealing jewelry and like trinkets and pretty things. So they have a character that's kind of scatterbrained and always is trying to like steal rope or a ribbon and a bit silly. And so they take that sort of that character trait of the crow and also just they inbuilt it into a character. So you know, like you could take these sort of like archetypes and stereotypes and kind of use them as well into the character design
Hmm.
if you want. But yeah, you've got that was just my thoughts for these three characters. So yeah, this is just the assignment: draw the character as an animal, an inanimate object, and all that kind of stuff as a human. Do you in the end, do you what do you reckon? Do you reckon you're gonna go with humans or animals or sort of inanimate
Um,
objects?
I was probably gonna stick with the humans. Although I kind of, it is kind of a fantasy setting, so I could maybe go with something like the owl or something.
Yeah,
But I don't know, I'm still kind of just I don't think I'm that adventurous just yet. I'd probably just
sure.
stick to humans.
Because I was even thinking
I
like,
do
oh,
like the
go on.
sorry. Oh, I just like I could do like the look of like the mushroom guy.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how do I give mushroom arms and not have it just look like some weird like tree beard kind of deal?
Oh well, I mean, because it's got roots, right? Does mushrooms have
Hmm.
roots? Um, but I was just thinking about the all the flowers from Alice in Wonderland, the first movie, the animated movie,
Yeah.
and how they have little how they've done that. You know, you could be like a little. Your characters can be like vegetables and fungi and all that kind of stuff, and uh, and
Yeah, they
plants.
always creeped me out.
Yeah. Or even there's another thing called Veggie Tales. Let's see. It was like this 3D animated series for kids, but like they were all vegetables. Like the main characters were a
Yeah.
pickle and a tomato, and they had no arms. They were just these little weird characters. Yeah. But let's see, mushrooms. If you wanted to give the mushroom hands, I don't know. I think you just put them on, like they just grow out of him or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. You can go for humans. But I think like no, my personal taste. You can do whatever you want, but like I think the mushroom character is quite interesting, like an actual mushroom kind of guy, an actual or you know like an animal one. Um, yeah, I think like out of these designs, like yeah, I'm really I quite like this mushroom. Like this guy's got a lot of character.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I'll get onto in the next section. I'll talk about what's expected of you for the final. you can explore lots of different avenues and stuff. You don't have to pick something right here today, you know. Um, and I would encourage you, and even part of the assignment, like, you're supposed to be doing lots and lots of sketches, thumbnails, and thinking of different variations and stuff that will help you.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so you got a little magical. Just about your story again. It's a little magical kind of world, um, and is it just it's all fantasy, or there's no sort of technology? Is it all sort of medieval kind of stuff, or
Yeah, very medieval kind of stuff. Yeah, like just a little medieval village. The other characters just putting on a bit of a like a magician's show,
right?
and as a bit of a dick. So
That's the jester character.
yeah.
Right, right. Okay, cool. Okay,
Sorry.
that's okay. It's okay. And you done any drawings or any thoughts on what that character is supposed to be, like visually?
I really wanted him to be like, pretty strong contrast because I do like, the round, like the kind of, yeah, roly kind of character for the wizard. So I was thinking,
Hmm.
kind of like really tall and stringy and
Okay.
kind of like pointy, have his like pointy jester hat and
Yeah, yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Jester hat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's cool. Um, I'm trying to think. In my head, I'm like, what vegetable or plant could that guy be? I don't know. I was like, oh, but yeah, I guess you can experiment with all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the point of like the week 9 exercise, not that you have to use one of these designs. It's just more of a thought experiment. Like, oh, just how can I translate different character traits across? If it's an inanimate object versus human versus an animal. I've got some examples from this time last trimester, what some of the students did and what I was talking about to them. Um, so translating their characters, like if you ever seen the original Beauty and the Beast,
Yes.
right? So you can still so the servants are inanimate objects, right? And then I said, oh, look at how the animators and artists they translated different elements from the character design from when they're inanimate objects to real life. Obviously Mrs. Potts, the top of the teapot. It's kind of like the hat that she wears, same color scheme. Chip, the chip in the cup is the chip in his tooth. You know, in what you call it? Oh yeah, also Lumiere, the candlestick. When we have um, the this is the sort of the his hair, right, as a candlestick, the dripping wax. It's the same sort of curl of his hair in real life. Even in his real life, the design of his pants is sort of like the design at the bottom of the candelabra. You know,
Yeah.
same sort of nose. Yeah, it's just when characters, yeah, change. What you call it? Change uh, uh, states of being. Yeah, even Cogworth. The mustache, his button nose, his hair. It's all being translated across. That was just the idea of this week's exercise, just to kind of, what can be your character's defining features, and how can we translate them around? So over here, you're getting the hat. You could also, you got the so this guy's got bushy eyebrows and a mustache, right? So with the bird, you'd want to give those bushy eyebrows, put them in there as well. Um, or let's see. Or so if your character is uh, like going from a human to the animal, you want to carry those bushy eyebrows. But if it was character was an owl and you want to translate that to human, well maybe you have a very sort of pointy nose to mirror the pointiness of the beak.
Yep.
Yeah, stuff like that. The colors that he would wear would be sort of brown and white, spotted, kind of maybe a cloak or a furry sort of collar, sort of thing, to make you remember the aesthetic of the owl.
Hmm.
Um, what else can we do? Like, yeah. So if the character you got the hat, you turned the mushroom hat into the actual mushroom head into a hat that he wears. Um, what else? Um, oh, even like he's the mushroom's got like these white spots. You turned it into a human. Maybe he's got like acne. You know, like you translate. Oh, like what's the defining character trait of my character? Oh, red and white spots. Okay, red spots, white. Okay, maybe pimples. The guy's the teenager character. He got a little bit of acne kind of thing. The crystal ball character. Okay, so if I got a crystal ball, translate it. Well, maybe he's quite like a round, kind of fat kind of character when he's translated to being a human. Or if he was, I don't know, an animal, maybe a very round animal you know, like an armadillo or a hedgehog kind of thing.
Yep.
More an armadillo. Okay, yeah, maybe more an armadillo because the hedgehog is spiky. So like an armadillo is round and doesn't have spikes, so that kind of ties into the crystal ball kind of thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that sort of thinking. Um, if this character, okay, so you got like these like the stand that it's on, right? So maybe if he's a human, he's got like a green and yellow like collar to his shirt with these sort of ornate patterns in it. You know,
Oh yeah. Hmm.
that sort of thing. So just what are my characters' defining traits? How can I translate them in some way across different body types, different species, you know, alive or inanimate or inanimate objects, that kind of thing. What else we got? Um, yeah, I think I use Beauty and the Beast as a really great example of what the animators were doing. Yeah, cool. Um, are there any questions so far?
No, no, pretty straightforward.
Sweet. Cool. Alrighty. So I'm just gonna walk through what's expected of you in the broad scheme of things. Let me go to my character design. Alrighty. Cool. So this is due in week 13. Also, let's see the second part. You've got the second part of the assessment 2 is also due. Yeah, just again, make sure that all the blogs and your discussion forums are up to date by and week 13. I'll mark them again. Um,
Yep.
and and then I think yeah, but all your assessment 1 is all done for you, and assessment 2 like weeks 1 to 6 you're all up to date. That's great. Um,
Yep.
just for anybody who's listening, make sure you update your visual blogs. 'Cause I double checked, and some people still have not um, put all the week 1 to 6 work in. So you need to do that to pass the first assessment. Yeah, in case you haven't. Alrighty. So the character design one again due at the end of week 13, which will be a Sunday midnight Australian Western Standard Time. So we'll go into the deliverables, right? You got to develop 2 characters based upon a character from your story treatment, but it could be that's just to tie it in. You're working on your story treatment module as well, yeah?
Um. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, last semester.
Okay, cool.
I think. Yeah, doing previs. I think
Right.
this semester.
Yeah. So if yeah, it's just uh, as a just for convenience sake, you can use characters from that, or you can develop them more, or they could be new characters. But just to tie it all together, it's kind of more convenient to use the characters from your story development.
Yeah.
Um, you go to explore design ideas through this series of weekly drawings. Yep. Keep scanning and updating your blog. And this is everything that goes into it, like your other character sketches, thoughts, um, just lots of like practice stuff, studies again, like studies of the mushroom or studies of the owl, if that's what you were up to. In the end, the characters need a biography. It's just a short 250 to 300 words explaining roughly what the character is about, all that kind of stuff. Um, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of like model sheets and turnarounds, all that kind of stuff, which I will get into now. So, do you know what a model sheet is? Aimee?
Yep.
Have you know what a model sheet is?
Kinda, yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, kinda.
Cool. All right. I'll walk you through everything here. So first thing is you need to be doing so a minimum of 6 pages of development sketches. Um, so three pages of sketches each for your characters. And I've assembled a whole bunch of like character sketches from character designers that I like to kind of show you guys what I'm expecting of you. Um, Last trimester and even the trimester before, I said, okay, I want a page full of character designs, and people would just give me like 2 sketches per page. I'm like, no, I want the whole page filled. And like, oh, like three sketches? Like, no, this is this is what I want. So as you can see, the designs on the left, this is a artist I really like called Westbird. And as you can see, it's for like a gladiator, Roman gladiator kind of game. And as you can see, the whole page is filled with, again, just black and white, but just sketches, trying out different poses, different helmet designs, male, female, all that kind of stuff. Um, this is, the second page is by a German artist called Saskia Gudekunst. And then again, the whole page is filled. And you can even see that, like, she must have like just cut and pasted drawings from different documents. So you can do that. You don't have to if you can't fit everything on one page. You can if you do a drawing on like an envelope, you can scan it in, Photoshop it into one page. Or just, I used to in my own sketchbook, I used to like just physically cut and then stick onto another page kind of thing. And again, it's just full of different like here's me or here's her. Here's maybe a head study. Here's a full body study. Oh, this is just the upper torso. Oh, this is just a sort of general loose sketch to kind of get the proportions. They don't have to be all as super finished as this one here, but it's just getting your thoughts down on the paper.
Yeah.
And then this is another German artist, Jana Schumer. And then again, here's a head study, here's a body study. The top half is more detailed than the bottom half. This is okay. The over here the torso is undefined, but it's more of a head study. And yeah, so each page fill it with sketches and do 3 pages per character. So in the end, 6 pages full of sketches like this. Um, and again, on the next page, I've got. Have you ever heard of a game called Journey on the PS3?
No.
It's a really cool game. Like you're a character wandering around in the desert and like on this sort of quest to kind of just. It's like a sort of. It's like a. It's an exploration sort of game. But this is the character development for the main character, right? There's kind of sketches that the artist said Matthew Nava did. So as you can see, and they're just small sketches. They're not even, some of them are not super detailed, but just filling the page. Maybe my character has this sort of cloak. Maybe he can fly. Maybe it's this sort of body structure, and they're just black and white, but they're just him thinking on the page. So that's the sort of habit that I would like you guys to get into. Not just here's one, like not just um, uh, going with the first idea or even like the second or third idea. Like realizing that there is room to explore, um, and these character designs are actually like not what the final character looks like in the game. In the game, we've got, let's see, Journey. Is this sort of character? If Have you ever seen this game? It's like this little red hooded
No.
character. So it's this little character, and you got to walk towards this mountain in the background and just journey through this landscape of like ancient ruins and stuff. Um, it's very cool. But yeah, so my point is, the final design did not look how the artist first imagined it at all. They went through loads and loads of different iterations, which is what you would be doing in real life. So just kind of getting used to that. Of course, in real life, you got to if you're working on a game, sometimes you have 3 months to work on one thing. Sometimes you have a year. Sometimes you have a month. Sometimes you have 2 weeks. Depending on the characters. So the more amount of time, the more exploration you can. So for our project, you have week 8 to 13. We're in week 9 now, so you don't want to be in the development stage forever. Just as much time as you can. Devote as much time as you can to coming up with a bunch of different ideas, but um, and then pick what you like and then go with that. But it's important to have a lot of different studies and thumbnails. Cool. So that's the thumbnail. That's this character sketch. Oh, this is what not to do. So this is a student submitted this stuff last trimester, and he said, "Oh, here are my sketches." And why I said these weren't these weren't acceptable because there's nothing really there to discuss. Like these are just sort of just not even completed. They're just body like construction drawings, right? So if you gave this to the art director or the writer or something, there's nothing to just say. We can have no conversation about this. There's one sort of defined head, and that's it. Versus, you know, over here, right? If we're given this sort of stuff, then we can say, okay, cool. I really like the head, from drawing number 5. I quite like the posture from drawing number 4. I like the beanie from character number 9. You know, we can start having a sort of design conversation. Over here, I really love the headdress from number 1, but maybe the belt from number 8. Do you know what I mean? We can have a bit
Yeah.
of a talk as opposed to something like this where we can't talk about anything. So this is not an acceptable set of sketches. They're not finished at all. And like I said, though the finals don't have to be like super polished and clear and the best artwork you've ever made, there needs to be something there for us to discuss. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Now, these are what's called model sheets, or also known as turnarounds, because the character is turning around. Um, So basically, they're a visual blueprint that you as the designer give to the animator, the 3D modeler, the director, the comic book artist, like anybody who needs to be able to draw or model or animate your character in 3D space, even if it's for a 2D, even if it's for a two-dimensional cartoon, they need to know your character from all the angles. Now, for model sheets, so if for all these character sketches, they're quite dynamic. The characters jumping, the characters skipping. It's sort of being imposing. Looking confident, whatever, showing a bit of attitude. That's for your concept sketches. But for the model sheet, it's actually very very simple. Just a super simple pose. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, because this sort of artwork is not really made for the public. Like, oh, it's not made for advertising. It's not made for marketing. It's made for internal purposes. It's just like, here's our blueprint for our character, for my animation team, or for the studio. So,
So with these ones here, they've got their arms like downwards. Is it better to have it down, or is a T pose better if you're sending it off for modeling?
it depends. So sometimes, yeah, you can do either or. Sometimes you can have it straight down. Like these are designs from the Batman animated series. So the character just has her arms by her side. But sometimes, yeah, you can even separate the arms. Let's see if I got an example. Um,
Or it's just like a whole, like
yeah,
from the side view. Yeah.
yeah. Let's have a look. Mm, I'm just looking through my examples. No, but yeah, it's basically if it sort of makes sense for your character, then do it. Also, you notice that this character is wearing a very big skirt, right? So that's very nice, but you think of it like as the 3D modeler or as the animator, I need to know what's underneath, right? What if we are the character is coming, jumping from a high tower and landing? We need to see up, or that kind of thing. So the artist has drawn like the X-ray version, right?
Yep.
And it's giving you that information. Like, so if your character wears a thick coat or has a cape or anything like that, you need to do it. Um, in these Batgirl sketches, you can see because she wears a cape. The artist has drawn her with and without the cape.
Yep.
Um, cool. Like for clarity's sake. Um, even let's see, and even in this is yeah, another Batman design as well. So like you were saying, they draw the character with the arms see through, almost removed.
Yep.
What else I got? And then again, with and without the cape, because it's important that you as so I guess when you look at your designs, just ask yourself if someone gave me these drawings, would I be able to model it, animate it,
Yeah.
And then if you can't, if you need more information, that's what you got to put in. Another thing that we'd like you to do, character heights. Character heights are sort of measured in how many heads high the character is. So like
Mhm.
Like Garfield is maybe like he's 3 heads relative to himself, or Bart Simpson is 4.5 heads, relevant to himself. So this character over here, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a quarter heads high, relevant to herself. So when you present your model sheet, also have that on the side as well. How many heads high?
Yep.
Cool, cool, cool. So of course, so one model sheet per character, 2 model sheets in total, one each. Um, Also, put your characters side by side so we can get a sense of scale. Yeah, and it can just be the line drawing, just so we can see, yeah, the size relative to each other. This is from the Disney cartoon Kim Possible. Yep, all the character lined up. Um, you've also got to do pose sheets. So that's just the character. So whereas the model sheets were very static, the character is standing still, doing nothing really. Um, you got to do at least one pose sheet per character, and this is where you can be very expressive. You show your character jumping, running, just doing something, leaping. This is from the Powerpuff Girl cartoon. This is the character Mojo Jojo. Is like a super intelligent
Mhm.
evil monkey.
Yep.
And yeah, this is him punching, him dancing, him striking a pose, firing guns, that kind of thing, just to show how your character acts, interacts, behaves. So, yeah. Um, so in the end, 2 final line drawings. Color is optional. With all of this stuff, like color is optional, but it makes everything look much nicer. Um, So in the end, yeah, your characters side by side, like in the pose drawings, again, it can still be kind of sketchy, kind of loose, but like best quality you possibly can of your characters with final line art. Um, and what else? And then yeah, the character biography at the end, just in written word. So just to recap, thumbnail sketches, 6 pages, 3 characters, 3 pages each, and the pages must be filled with multiple sketches. right?
Hmm.
Um, two model sheets. That's one per character. Your character just standing, still just in a turn around. So front, side, back, 3/4 view. If the character wears a cape or something that obscures their anatomy, you gotta show it underneath and make sure you also include how many heads high the character is. Yeah, a sketch of the character side by side can be black and white. Um, two pose sheets, so one each for your character. In black and white is fine as well. Just your character being energetic or just in motion, in action, whatever. Um, and then two final line drawings, so one final of your character each. Um, as polished as you possibly can. Color is optional, but it always looks nicer. Um, Sometimes you'll find that a character really comes to life when you add that color. If you ever seen Harley Quinn from the Batman series.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so like if you the original design like in black and white, like all right, but like it really comes to life when you have that red and black, right? So that
Mm.
really, oh okay, you get the sort of the black, red, and white is sort of it's a dangerous sort of color pattern. It's a color of like blood and war and death and all that kind of stuff. So red and black is always a lot of villains or sort of dangerous characters have that red and black color scheme. It really kind of pushes that when you add color to their final design. So yeah, are there any questions so far?
No, no, all
Yeah,
good.
yeah. These are the minimum. So like we're treating this as if we've got to handle these drawings off to a 3D modeler, an animator, the team, the larger, the 50-person team that needs to take your design and make it work, right? So
Yep.
it's like production art. Think of it in that frame of mind. What can I do to help the team? There's a really cool piece of like Batgirl art from the recent comic. The recent comic was updated, rebooted, um, and these are this is like the character design sheet that was released to the public. So normally this would not be released. Normally this is just internal. This is just for the artist, for the writer, you know. But I guess as a bit of promotional art, they released it, right? So we got the character in full color, right? We've got the character without her cape over here, and even like sort of close-ups, right, on her gloves and instruction on how they work. They snap on gloves. The same sort of snap, sort of button design. It echoes the shoulder design, like of the cape over there. Um, a close-up drawing of the side of her mask, and even here, even talking about the material that her clothes are made. So leather jacket, not spandex. So even the artist was like, see, it's not supposed to be skin tight. It's supposed to be more practical. Not like kind of all super form fitting. It's just no, it's just a proper jacket. How the belt works. Um, just a bit of instructions. Oh, there's a black stripe on the side of the legs. So how the cape buttons onto the shoulders, that kind of thing. So from all this, somebody could look at it and be like, oh yeah, cool. I totally get it. I totally understand how this character works. Cool. From this drawing, you could probably just go and draw it. Uh,
Yeah.
like and hit the ground running. Nothing would really have to be, or not much would really have to be explained to you.
Mm.
You know, so that's that sort of thing. But yeah, um, and that's yeah, and do end of week 13. Um, yeah, so I think that's it. If you got no further questions, I think that's it for today.
No, no, I'm good.
Sweet. Let's see, your work you've caught up on assessment 1 and 2. That's great. Um, is there anything that you? Oh yeah, and when I gave you your feedback on like the hands and anatomy stuff in week 6, did you watch the video, or were you able to watch the video? And
Yes, I did watch the video.
cool. Did you need anything sort of clarified from that, or did you get it? Or
No, yeah, it was pretty straightforward. Yeah, no, it was good.
sweet, sweet. Yeah. All right then. I think that's it for today then. For anybody in the class that's listening, if you need anything else clarified, yeah, email me or post your drawings in the discussion forums. And yeah, cool. Thank you for coming, Aimee.
No worries. I'm glad I
Cool.
actually remembered this time.
And I'll put this onto YouTube for everybody. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you. See,
All right.
see ya.